Hey everyone, Kirk here from Kirk's Aquariums. Hope you and your fish have been doing well. We are back in the fish room this week, giving you an update on what's been going on. As the title suggests, it has been a bit of a disaster happen this week in the fish room, but it has been met with a few positive things happening as well, and that is all coming up in today's video. So sit back, stay tuned, and enjoy the show. So we've got our beautiful pair of marbled / koi angels laying eggs on the slate right now. I'm not up close to the tank, so sorry if it's a little bit grainy on the quality, but I have zoomed in quite a fair bit just to make sure I don't disturb these two. But looks like we're going to have plenty more angels soon to be in the fish room, so that's all very exciting, and I will keep you guys updated on that as well as these guys grow up. But really cool looking fish, and I'm really happy that these guys are just continuously spawning almost every week. I sort of don't pull the slate every week. I sort of let them spawn. They don't usually raise the fry that well, but it's just to make sure I don't flood myself out on too many angelfish. So this has been about 2 to 3 weeks since these guys last spawned, and I'm probably going to save the eggs from this slate. But as you can see, there's a fair few eggs and they haven't even finished spawning yet, so that Goiter River rainbow is getting a bit too close for comfort. That male is going to chase him off if he gets any closer. But that's the female there. She's laying the eggs in a line, and then that male on the left hand side there is coming back up and fertilizing those eggs. So really cool to see, and I just thought I'd show you guys that in this update as well. I thought I'd just show you guys another little update on this beautiful pair of angels. Not so much the male, but this female. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I've been really struggling with her being bloated. I have tried heaps of different tactics. Someone in the comments a couple of weeks ago mentioned to boil some peas and take the shell off the peas and feed the peas to them. She doesn't really like the peas, so I've just stopped feeding her any other food and just keep throwing the de-shelled boiled peas in here, hoping that she's going to eat a few of them. I dropped some in last night, but I think my L397 plecos chowed down on them a lot more than she did. She has looked like she's not as swollen anymore, so that might be a good sign, but you can see right there, it's not looking good. So someone else in the comments also recommended some Epsom salt and take her out of this tank, put her in a smaller tank, and dropped a couple of tablespoons of Epsom salt in there, and that will hopefully flush her out. I've never done that with fish before. I've never actually tried that. I've always been a little bit scared, to be honest, and I'm going to use that as a last resort. So thank you for the person that did mention that in the comments on the last update video. I will hopefully see what will happen with the peas and see if the eating peas is going to help her. If I don't find that successful, I'm going to switch to the Epsom salt bath, and with any luck that will fix this problem. But I am just a little bit scared / nervous to pull her out and stress her out and putting her into another tank by herself, just because I know that if she gets really stressed, that could be the final blow for her. So I'm just going to keep with the peas for now, and hopefully I can get some results with that. If not, my last resort is going to be an Epsom salt bath. But I just thought I'd give you guys a quick update that she's still going strong. She's still looking at trying to lay eggs, but I just feel really sorry for her because she is quite bloated, and I'm really not sure what caused the bloating. I do feed frozen bloodworms, but not every day, and it's usually only about like once a week. And she has been like this now for the last couple of months, so hasn't affected her swimming ability or anything like that. She's still very much wanting normal food. Every time I sort of go up to this tank, she wants me to drop some normal food in there for her, like flake food or pellets, but I'm just holding off from doing that because I really don't want to make this problem any worse than it already is. So just a quick update on these two, and I'll show you a bit more of what's going on in the fish room. So this is going to be some upsetting news. I was quite upset when it happened, but if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I've been raising some baby Bosmani rainbow fish in this tank, and it's been a long process. They've been going for the last 4 or 5 months. They were just starting to get some really nice color starting to come through on them. They were getting at that size, sort of that sort of size, where I was getting ready to take them into my local fish shop in the next couple of weeks / month. And I was doing my water changes here in the fish room, and I was having a little bit of an off day, and just so happens this tank, I was doing the water change, these tanks aren't plumbed or drilled or anything like that. So when I do the water changes here in the fish room, it's all done manually. So, you know, drain the water and then use fresh water to fill it back up. And unfortunately, what happened is I forgot by accident to add dechlorinator to the new water that I was about to pump in. Pumped the new water in, filled with Bosmani rainbow fish and some super red bristlenose. The super red bristlenose I saved. I came back into the fish room and realized what was going on. They weren't doing too well, but I quickly saved them. They're all fine. I didn't lose any super red bristlenose babies, thankfully. I've moved them to another tank, which I'll show you guys where they've gone to. But unfortunately, I'm putting up on the screen now, every single baby Bosmani rainbow fish was dead. And I was going to film it at the time, but I was honestly in so much shock and so upset. I couldn't even get the camera out to film. I quickly took a photo because I had to send it to my local fish shop that I was organising to sell them to. So, big mistake. Lesson learnt, you know, don't do too much at once. And yeah, so, you know, call me a bad fish keeper if you will, but it was an honest mistake and one that cost me dearly. So, first time ever taking Bosmani rainbows into my local fish shop, and now I've got some more growing up in another tank which I'll show, but they're probably easy 4 or 5 months away before I sell them. So Bosmani rainbows, or rainbow fish in particular, take an extremely long time from when they hatch out of an egg to sellable size to grow up, and so it was just absolutely devastating. And yeah, so now I've got an empty tank. It's kind of like a blessing in disguise because the fish room is getting pretty jam-packed with baby fish and I'm started running out of space, but at the same time, absolute devastating blow to the fish room that I've lost probably a good 20 to 25 baby Bosmani rainbows. Luckily, I still have my turquoise rainbows here. They're growing up really nicely. You can start seeing that turquoise color coming through on them. And this is about the size that the Bosmani rainbows were at too. So I pretty much hatched these guys at the same time as the Bosmani rainbows. And yeah, just thought I'd give you an update because I've been showing them in my videos for a while now. And you know, just do the right thing and show you guys that mistakes happen. And when you're trying to, you know, manage so many fish tanks, you're bound to make a mistake here and there. It's not the end of the world. Like, I've still got my brood stock of Bosmani rainbows, so I'll be able to recoup and make more. It's just rainbow fish take forever to grow, as some of you might know, and so it's just so much work and effort lost in the matter of 10 minutes. I literally finished filling up this tank with new water, went and had a small 10-minute break outside of my fish room, came back in, and yeah, all dead. So super sad news, not the best you want to hear, but moving on, we'll just make more and learn a lesson from trying to do too much at once and not having your head switched on when you're in the fish room doing important maintenance work. But I thought I'd give you it as an update nonetheless. So it's not all doom and gloom in this week's episode. We did manage to hatch on the same day that I lost my Bosmani rainbows. I did manage to pull a pretty solid spawn of super red bristlenose babies, and while the fry tray doesn't look spotlessly clean just yet, when I put these in here, it was covered in like diatom algae, that brown algae, and that just provided a good little food source for these guys. As soon as they hatch out of their egg yolk, they'll still eat one. They've got their like egg yolk still on the bottom of them, but this provides just a really nice little bit of food that they can chow down on. I've been dumping in some baby brine shrimp in there, and we've got longfin albino bristlenose hanging out here. I'll just try and turn the air off so that you guys can see a bit better. There's a lot of them in here. These guys are getting ready to move out of this tank. I'll try and, yeah, there we go. When I put my hand in there, I'll take this. You can see them all in here. I'm pretty happy with the results from these. So these ones in here are the albino longfin bristlenose, and then over in this one, this is from 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago I should say. I'll turn the air off on this one as well. If I move this piece of log, you can see the herd of super red bristlenose babies growing up here. So they're all chilling underneath that piece of wood, having a chow. and just got some algae wafers in there, and then I feed some live baby brine shrimp as well. So between the two trays just here, we've got a fair few baby super red bristlenose growing up in the fish room at the moment, and that's really good because they sell pretty well in the fish shops. And you know, if you're going to get into breeding bristlenose, get yourself a pair of, well, more than a pair of super reds, because they will make their money back on you really, really fast. And they breed just as much as like your standard bristlenose. They just sell for a bit higher value dollar-wise in the fish shops, and they've got that real intense orangey red to them, and so a lot of people really go after them. Even though they're a little bit more expensive than your common bristlenose and your albino bristlenose, they're really like showstopper fish for a community tank, or if you're looking at getting into breeding them. So I would recommend, if you're looking at breeding some bristlenose, get yourself some either albino longfin bristlenose if you can find them, or if you can find some really nice super red bristlenose, get yourself some of them as well, because they will yield you some amazing results. So that's what's going on in the fry trays. Nothing else much going on, just the heaps of bristlenose raising up, and within the few weeks / months we will take these out of here and raise them up in some bigger tanks. So another thing that's happened this week, also a bit of a bummer, but kind of been happening a little bit lately, and thought I might as well share that with you guys. So I bought off eBay a few years ago these cheaper sort of aquarium lights, as you can see here. I don't recommend them. There's actually this one that you can see above, because I have, you know, this is like 2 feet front to back, these tanks in this rack. And along here I bought, because aquarium lights in Australia are actually quite expensive, especially when you need like a whole heap of them. So I bought them for the whole rack, which you can see along here. And slowly but surely, they have been burning out on me. And I've had them now for almost 3 years, so I guess they've done pretty well. But sorry for the glare. You can see, I'll try and turn it on. I've still got it plugged in. I need to go to the shop and buy some more. But I come into my shop, and sorry if you're epileptic or anything, but that's what I came into just before. So that's completely stuffed, and I'm going to have to replace that. And this one here, as bright as it looks on camera, it's not even, sorry for my reflection, it's not even lighting up the tanks. So I'm going to replace these 2 lights, I should say, with some other sort of floodlights that I've found at my local hardware shop. If you're local to Australia, Bunnings is what we call our hardware shop. In America, you guys call them hardware shops. But going to replace these 2 with some what they call like floodlights, and I've been using them pretty well in my fish room. Sorry for the mess up here. They are about like a 5 or 10 watt. I think they're 10 watt lights. They're sort of weatherproof, so they'll sort of withstand the humidity and the water in the fish room. And I've been using these for the last couple of years just because I wanted to try something different, and I saw it on in someone else's fish room, and so I thought I'd give them a try, and they've been really working well. As you can see, like they make that nice sort of daylight color. They're not like the blue sort of tone to them. They're just a nice sort of sunlight, daylight looking color, and I just find they bring out the color in the fish really well. So we're gonna switch them out and replace the broken lights here with them. But I just thought I'd give you guys a quick update on that, because that's also going on this week. So a little bit of a downer video for this week's update, but we'll get these replaced and I'll show you what they look like once it's all done. Alright, so got the new lights all installed and plugged in. I quite like the colour. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but that gives that, like I said, that nice daylight sort of colour, and I'm happy I can see my fish now. So these are those baby Bosmanis that I was showing you guys that I moved in the last fish room update video. They've been growing well. I'll try and zoom in here and get the camera to focus on them. But they are on the baby brine shrimp now. I've realised they are Bosmanis. I know in the last video I was a bit unsure whether they were turquoise or Bosmani. Just by looking at them now, I can sort of pretty much tell that they are Bosmani rainbows, which is a huge win for me, considering I just lost my previous Bosmani rainbows. So these unfortunately are going to take about 4 to 5, maybe even 6 months before they are ready to take into my local fish shop, but they are doing well on that baby brine shrimp. There's a couple of different sizes in here. There's some that are just growing that little bit faster than others, but I think I've got about 18 to 20 in here at the moment, so it's not huge numbers, but it's good enough to take into my fish shop, or my local fish shop I should say. And yeah, with any luck these will grow out well. Make sure I don't make the same mistake this time, and all should be good. Over here, not too much to update on this tank. We've just got the herd of red tuxedo guppies. These are the next lot that are growing up. Should be ready to sell to my local fish shop in the next sort of few weeks. There's a couple of culls I got to do in here. There's a few in here I've noticed as they've gotten a bit older that haven't developed that red nose on them, that red cap on their head, and so I want to make sure I get them out, because we don't want to sell them to my local fish shop, because that's not what we want to do. And down below, I did save out of the tank that I lost my baby Bosmanis in, the other tank. I did actually save the super red bristlenose babies that were in there, and I put the dechlorinator in that tank as soon as I realized what was happening. Unfortunately, it was too late for the rainbow fish. They're quite sensitive fish, and so they just basically completely passed away almost instantly. But the super red bristlenose that were in there were not doing the best, obviously, but I managed to put the dechlorinator back in that tank, and I just didn't want to leave them in that same tank just in case it killed heaps of bacteria and I end up getting an ammonia spike, because bristlenose, when you've got a lot of them in the tank, or just a few of them even, they're really high on the bioload. They're constantly pooping and they're constantly eating, so they do put a lot of strain on the bioloads of tanks, especially when you've got 15 or 20 of them in there. And I'd lost enough that day. I was not ready to lose my batch of super red bristlenose, so I've moved them into this tank because there wasn't anything in the bottom of this tank. So I've just got to watch out now, because this tank is a little bit crowded, but we will fix that up and keep the water up and running and under control. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you guys a quick update on this tank as well. So happy with my lights. Again, I'll quickly show you, not sponsored by these guys or anything like that, sorry, I've just got to bend down and get it. But I use these lights here. So they're by a brand called Arclec. If you're not from Australia, this will probably mean nothing to you, but if you are from Australia and you're looking at a different alternative as opposed to spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on aquarium lights for your fish room, I recommend these. I've been using them now for the last few years, and they've been working fine for me. So the only downside is they have a really short plug on them, so you can see there. So you do usually end up having to get like an extension lead or something like that, and it can lead to a few extra cords in your fish room than you'd like to have. But had never seen a fish room without an absolute mess of power cords everywhere, so that is what's going on with them. So that's pretty much all we've got time for in this week's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button for me so I know, and drop a comment down below. I love hearing from all of you guys. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more fish room videos in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.